What's up, Ragin Nation? How's it going? This is Alex, and you're watching the TF Movie Show. This is just Webster's. We're talking about the Transformers live-action movie franchise. This is episode number 57. And in the previous episode, episode number 56, I did a video where I talked about how I was going to revisit the Transformers live-action movie franchise. And what I meant by that is that I'm going to watch all 6 movies and then share with you my thoughts about how I feel about them now. And you might be thinking, well, Bumblebee wasn't that long ago. It came out in 2018, so how are your thoughts and feelings about the films going to change? It's such a short time. Well, actually, the original film came out in 2007, and there was quite a journey from 2007 all the way till now, and that's almost 14 years ago. So I think that it would be a great time now, being 2020, to just revisit all the films and then just see how I feel about them. And I invite you guys to do the same. And by doing the same thing, I don't mean just watching it on your phone. I mean watching it on your TV, turn down the lights, make it a movie night, grab some popcorn, and then rewatch the films. Crank up the volume and just focus. Put your phone away and watch it like you were watching it for the first time, and then see how you feel about them. And I think now's an appropriate time, at least for me, because it being 2020, well, the Ragin Nation started 10 years ago. So, like I said, time flies, and let's get right into it. So this is going to be a 12-part mini-series because I'm going to do a prologue for each movie, and then I'm going to share with you my feedback upon watching the movie. Actually, after I make this video, I'm going to actually watch Transformers, and then I'm going to film my feedback for it right after. So that's why it's going to be a 12-part series, and I'm really excited about this because this is essentially taking me and taking all of you back to the journey to these Transformers films. And I never actually did a Journey to TF1, Journey to TF2 series. I only started it with Dark of the Moon because I started my YouTube series, or the channel, the Ragin Nation, in 2010, and then I started doing the production updates for the 2011 film, Dark of the Moon. So let's do this for the first film, and let me just recap everything towards the journey to this film that really changed a lot of people's lives, including my own. In fact, it changed the film industry. So it's a very, very iconic film, whether people, despite the fact that, the fandom is very divided, it's still a very, very iconic film. So I remember everything very, very vividly. So let's just retrace all of that. But before we begin that, I just want to do some shout outs. I want to give a big shout out to one of my most loyal and one of the original members of the Ragin Nation, and that is Alfonso Peterman from the Alfonso Nation. You guys know him from the YouTube videos. He's got all these wonderful toy hunt videos, and he's got just full of this positive energy. And I got a package from him, and I just want to I want to open it right in front of you guys and just share with you this lovely experience. And a while back, I think either in 2011 or 2012, he actually sent me my very first fan mail. So that was actually really, really exciting for me, and of course for him as well, because we had our first interaction. And I'm also a fan of the Alfonso Nation. I watch his videos, and it's just so wonderful to see how his channel has grown and doing a lot of things that I did before. I'm making less videos now, but it's just so wonderful to see that he's keeping up to it. So, thanks for doing that, Alfonso. It's, you're so full of positivity, and really enjoy your videos. Anyways, let's just open this up. Well, what do you know? It's a Target bag. I wonder what it could be. Oh, I love the packaging where I used these plastic corners to make sure that nothing gets broken. It's funny that I'm seeing these because we don't have Targets in Canada. We used to have it, but it only lasted 2 years. The business model didn't work out here. Oh, look at that. So I asked Alfonso to help me pick up a Leadfoot. Leadfoot, look at that. I actually already have Topspin, and I also have Roadbuster, so the Wreckers collection is complete. So thank you so much, Alfonso. I super, super appreciate it. And, I really appreciate that you took the time to do this for me. And it looked better than I thought. I had the original Leadfoot. That was a Takara exclusive. The deluxe one, it was a Takara Japanese exclusive, and you can only get that from Japan. But this one looks a hell of a lot better, so thank you so much for that. All right, I'm just going to put that away for now. And before I begin the journey, I'm also going to give one more shout out and also another loyal member of the Ragin Nation, Jose Oliveras, 32. Thank you so much for your kind message to me on Instagram. I really appreciate that. It really makes me happy to know that you've been a follower for so long and that you've been watching all my videos and supporting it because, you know, honestly, when I started my channel, I just did it for myself. I just wanted to get my voice out there and share with you guys my opinions. And I didn't know if it was gonna, you know, grow to the point where I ended up getting this. Still gonna hang that up. Anyways, I didn't know it was gonna become something bigger. And, you know, it's because of people like you that really helped make it happen. And you've been with me from the very, very beginning. I just want to give a big shout out and acknowledge and show my appreciation for people just like you. So thank you so much for that. So anyways, let's just get started with this journey. And this journey was way before my YouTube channel, The Ragin Nation. I didn't put it on a video. I didn't document it. I just remember it very, very vividly. I remember the journey from the very beginning to the release of the film. And I just want to share that experience with you because it was one hell of a journey. And I just remember all the little events because it was such a big deal as I anticipated this big movie. And I'm sure that it was the same for a lot of other fans. And I'm going to start off with the year 2000. Let's go back in time in 2000. 20 years ago, I was watching a Transformers series called Transformers Robots in Disguise. It was on Channel 25, YTV. That's Canada's youth channel. YTV stands for Youth TV. And it was essentially an English dubbed version of the Japanese car robot series, Transformers 2000, or they called it Transformers 2000 or Transformers Car Robots in Japan, Car Roboto. And then in English, they called it, or in America, North America, they called it Transformers Robots in Disguise. And I really love that series, even though it's got a lot of mixed reviews. But the reason why I liked it was because I never got into Beast Wars. I never really gave it a chance. And I just wanted to get back into cell shading traditional animation, just like G1, you know, the traditional 2D animation. So I really enjoyed it, and the story, I didn't really understand the story at all, but I just love seeing the characters, and I love seeing them in a city as opposed to, you know, the setting for Beast Wars. So I really liked that. I bought all the toys, every single one of them. And that was really my only connection with Transformers between G1 and a live action film. Now, fast forward to 2003, I think it was 2003, Hasbro and DreamWorks made an announcement that a live action Transformers film was being made. Okay, and because it's DreamWorks, of course, what's his name? Steven Spielberg was involved because DreamWorks is his project with SKG, Spielberg, Katzenberg, and I forgot what the G stands for. Jeffrey Katzenberg and Gary something, right? I think. Anyways, so that was super, super exciting. When Steven Spielberg's name was mentioned, I thought that he was actually directing it. And I was so excited because I was thinking to myself, like, wouldn't that be amazing? Imagine that, a Transformers live action film directed by Steven Spielberg. He would be the perfect director for Transformers. But turns out that he was just going to be an executive producer, which is still amazing because it still has his a bit of his fingerprints on it, right? His feedback is in the film, so I'm still okay with that, all right? And as soon as they made that announcement, I was just thinking to myself that, like, all these images started coming to my head, such as, the first thing I was thinking about was cars driving at high speeds on freeways and just transforming at high speeds, and then transforming back into cars at high speeds. That was the very first image that came into my head, right? So, you know, that got me super excited because there's so much potential of what they could do, right? And then following that, there was a rumor. Of course, you know, as these the production and development goes along, you know, all these rumors and names and statements, headlines are going to come about. So the very first rumor I read because they didn't have a director yet, because they mentioned that Steven Spielberg was only going to be serving as an executive producer. The very first name I read was Robert Zemeckis was going to be the director for Transformers. But that wasn't set in stone. It was just a name that was thrown around, okay? And I don't even know where this the source of this rumor came from, but it was a rumor, okay? And so I got excited because Robert Zemeckis is, of course, the director of Back to the Future trilogy, and I felt that he's got a really, really strong hold on fantasy. All right, Transformers, of course, science fiction, but it's also got fantasy elements about it. Like, I'm not saying like medieval dragons and all that stuff, but it's just a very it's a fantastic concept. You know what I'm saying? So I love the idea of Robert Zemeckis directing Transformers, but sadly it was just a rumor. Okay, and then it was finally announced that Michael Bay would be the director for Transformers, and I got excited because I actually really, really loved Michael Bay, okay? The Rock, Bad Boys 2, even Pearl Harbor, The Island, and watching The Island was actually, I guess, my gateway into accepting Michael Bay, or at least welcoming Michael Bay as a director for Transformers, because it was his first attempt at science fiction. All right, and I actually really enjoyed The Island. I enjoyed it so much, I think I saw it twice. I saw it 3 times in the theater, because not only did I enjoy the movie, I was still also a Michael Bay fan. I really enjoyed his visuals, right? So when Michael Bay's name was announced, I got crazy, crazy excited. In fact, I think that I was actually having a conversation with some of my high school classmates, and they were telling me that, oh, you must be so excited because your favorite director, Michael Bay, is directing Transformers. And like, they knew how much I loved Michael Bay. They knew how much I was a big movie fan. They knew how much I enjoyed Transformers, right? So, and I'm like, hell yes, I'm excited. Freaking Michael Bay directing Transformers. That's freaking amazing, right? And I was excited. I was crazy excited. But then I started reading articles that, Michael Bay actually knows nothing about Transformers. He thought his opinion was that, like, there were statements where he said that it was just this, like, isn't this a silly toy cartoon, like a silly toy movie, like Small Soldiers? And he knew nothing about them. And, that feedback from him kind of, it didn't feel that good. But at the same time, I still had faith because of his previous films. At the end of the day, he wasn't passionate about Transformers as a property, but he was a very visionary film director. He's a very visual film director, and I felt that's what we needed for Transformers. And I also felt that, I'm open to the idea of someone who's new to this world taking on this job, right? So what I also read in some articles is that if he was going to do it, he wanted to make them look real. Okay, very, very real. And it had to be realistic. He was going 100% for realism, and of course the military would be involved. I got super excited because, I'd seen The Rock, I'd seen Armageddon, I'd seen Pearl Harbor, and he's got a very, very strong relationship with the military, and it makes complete sense that if there was an alien invasion, there would be the military involved, and he wanted to make it as real as possible. So these are positive things. As much as a lot of people said they don't want to see the military, there's just too much military involvement, like, I get that, right? Because, over the course of the films, there was, like, more and more military, right? And there's more focus on military. But, for the first movie, I think it was necessary, right? And, of course, the fact that he wanted to make it real was a big idea. A big, huge thing, right? And then later on, I read that Roberto Orci and Alex Kurtzman were the writers, and I knew nothing about them. The only thing that I did know was that they were huge, huge fans of the cartoons. They watched the cartoons, they love the cartoons, and they want to bring back elements from G1 to the movie. So, got super excited about that. Okay, now I'm saying all this without... I don't want to provide feedback about how I feel about it now until after I've seen the movie, okay? So I'm just kind of relaying to you my thoughts and feelings prior to the movie, okay? So the most incredible announcement during this journey was, of course, the announcement that Peter Cullen would be voicing Optimus Prime. Now, that was a really, really huge one. It was so big that... there wasn't social media back then, but instead there was, I chatted on this platform called MSN, and then on MSN you could write your status, okay? So what I wrote on my status was that Peter Cullen voicing Optimus Prime. And then exclamation, exclamation, right? And then, you know, that was how excited I was. I wanted everybody on my contacts to know that Peter Cullen was voicing Optimus Prime, okay? And the thing is that before Peter Cullen was announced as Optimus Prime, there was another rumor going around that Michael Clark Duncan, the late Michael Clark Duncan, God rest his soul, that he could potentially be voicing Optimus Prime. Now, this was before Peter Cullen was announced. And then when I heard that, I was actually quite excited because he's got a very, very strong voice, right? And to top things that, it seemed plausible because, even though it was a rumor, because Michael Bay had worked with Michael Clark Duncan twice in his films, right? In The Island and also in Armageddon. So it made sense that he would be involved with this. But, you know, Peter Cullen ended up being the voice, and you know, I'm so glad. I'm so glad that happened, okay? Thank God for that. That would change everything, right? So, let's fast forward to 2005. San Diego Comic-Con 2005. DreamWorks puts out a booth for, their movies, their properties, and then the DreamWorks booth had this teaser for Transformers. Now, I'm not talking about a teaser trailer or teaser images, but what they put out was a physical teaser, and that was they put out a truck, like a red flat nose truck with a trailer. They put a tarp over it, okay, a black tarp over it, and they put More Than Meets the Eye, 2007. All right, and that was huge. Now, I searched all over the internet for this photo, and the photo that I wanted to show you guys was actually not the one I wanted to show you. Like, it was a photo of the front of the cab, but I could only find this one, but it still works. So this is what was shown, and this was huge. Now, of course, this gave us the idea that Optimus Prime was going to retain that mode. Unfortunately, that wasn't true. All right, he ended up being the Peterbilt, but we didn't know when that was going to happen. Also, it was really cool as a teaser that on the license plate, they actually put the words Prime 1. So obviously, people knew that okay, this is a teaser and an announcement for the fans, telling them that Transformers is coming 2007. So that is huge. Okay, and then moving forward. I read that they would change the designs, and that was more Michael Bay's decision. He would change the designs. It wouldn't be G1 designs, and then fans got upset. I didn't get upset. I was just neutral to it. You know, I understood the decision, but at the same time, I understand how fans would get upset, but I wasn't as upset as a lot of really passionate fans. I've been reading on the forums, and then a lot of fans were super upset that they were making any changes at all. So, like, they were saying that why change things, right? Why change Megatron? Like why not have him being a gun? Why not? There's no problem with mass shifting, okay? Like why change Bumblebee from a Volkswagen Bug to whatever they want to change him to? We didn't know any of the different modes at the time, the alt modes. We just knew that Michael Bay wanted to change things, and that was when the death threats started happening, because that's when you really saw the true colors and the ugly side of Transformers fans. And I get that they're really, really passionate, but it just really got ugly fast, and it looked like it was going to be a train wreck, because like that's at least what they were saying. But I was still open to the change. I welcomed the idea that this is 2007. That things got to change, and Bumblebee wouldn't be a Volkswagen Bug. He'd be something else, right? But I would love for him to just stay yellow. That would just make more sense, right? Anyways, like I defended his decision. I was vocal about it on the I wasn't part of any forums, but I was vocal about it when I talked to my other movie fan friends about it. That, you know what, Transformers is coming. They're gonna change the designs, and I'm okay with that because, you know, they want to modernize it. That was totally cool. All right. And then I saw the concept art. Now I don't know if the concept art was leaked or the concept art was just shown. I guess it was leaked. I mean, why would they show concept art before the movie is out? Usually it's done after, right? So the concept art got leaked, or someone, I learned later on that someone hacked into Michael Bay's computer and then got the art out or something like that, or at least the script. But in any case, the concept art got leaked, and then we saw the designs, and that was really, really awkward. Okay, now I had a hard time defending the decision. I was just like, okay, that's not Bumblebee. And the crazy part about this is that nobody had any expectations. Everybody just thought it was like, I guess all the fans thought that we were going to see carbon copies of G1 but in live action. And that was their first thought. Nobody knew that what it was going to end up looking like. We just had no expectations. And then when we saw this, no matter how you felt about Transformers, whether you're big on like a huge fan or not, you just felt that, okay, this is different. This is something that I have a hard time accepting. For me, I'll be completely honest, I was in a bit of denial, right? I was defending his changes, but at the same time, I felt like, okay, this is not looking like, I hate to say that that it wasn't looking good, but it wasn't looking like what I wanted or what I was expecting. And that was really, really weird for me. I felt awkward. And then as I kept on seeing art, like seeing Megatron's face, like they didn't show Optimus Prime until much, much later, all right? But I saw the Decepticons, I saw Bumblebee, and it was just very, very different. I even saw some concept art for other things that didn't end up in the movie. That was really, really weird. And I was just thinking to myself, where are they going with this? This is just not looking promising. I got super excited. I'm not saying that my hopes are down, but it's just not where I would have liked them to be. So that's that. Okay, and then they showed the very first image, which for the life of me, I can no longer find. Okay, the first official image. Now, this was a pretty big deal for at least myself. I don't know about a lot of other fans, but they showed this image of the downtown battle. It didn't have any Transformers in it. It only had like a minor explosion and some sparks on the sidewalk and a lot of people just ducking for cover. They were like this. I cannot find that photo at all, okay? But it was in Mission City, the downtown battle. And then I used to follow darkhorizons.com and Ain't It Cool News. They're movie sites. And then they had posted that first image. And then that's what they showed. And before I clicked on it, I was just thinking, okay, am I going to see robots? But I clicked on it and it just showed people ducking for cover, running for cover, and sparks. And that was it. And I was like, okay, well, you know what? They're going to show us more stuff later. But it was still huge that, seeing some sort of progress. That was pretty cool, okay? So there you have it. Okay, finally, let's move on to real marketing. The Mars rover teaser. Okay, that was pretty huge. That got the internet talking. Even though it showed nothing, it was still really cool to see as a teaser because, the Mars rover was rolling around, even though it received a lot of criticism for being in the desert of Nevada or something like that, or New Mexico desert. But you saw the silhouette of a it could be an Autobot or Decepticon. Everybody was just speculating, and that was really, really huge. Right, so that was very cool. Moving on, the very first trailer is like a 2-minute trailer, and that I was thinking to myself, now that's how you make a trailer. That's how you get people excited, because if you remember, it was the one that says some are here to defend us, most will come to destroy us. Not in those exact words. But then I love the eerie music. I love the fact that they don't actually fully show you close, clear images of any of the robots. They just show you glimpses of them in flashes, and they're just really, really quick. And I was just thinking to myself, that is so cool. Look at Bumblebee with his battle shield on. That's so cool. And Barricade slamming his arm on the ground. Like, oh man, it was just, nobody knew who was who except Bumblebee, and you saw Optimus's leg. Okay, so that was I was looking at the forums after the teaser came out, and everybody was talking about that. That looks like Optimus's leg. Okay, and they were right. It was Optimus's leg. But as for everybody else, we didn't know who they were, and we couldn't really make up what they were. But one of the things that they did mention is that this looks very different. Like, they're not the blocky designs. They're very organic, and they like, especially Blackout. Blackout just looks really, really organic looking and very different, almost like Lego Bionicle style, right? So those were the criticisms, but at the same time, it was a very exciting teaser, or trailer rather. Nobody recognized anybody except Bumblebee and Optimus. I mean, you couldn't even recognize a Bumblebee, but you knew it was Bumblebee, okay? And then, yeah, like I said, fans were analyzing it all over the Transformers boards. And then finally, they released some official images from the film. And there was a lot of humans there. There were a lot of humans like Josh Duhamel, Tyrese Gibson, Shia LaBeouf, right? You know, basically the main cast. And then you see some of the Autobot vehicles in the background. But you never actually saw any robots. The official images from the Transformers 2007 film that were released by DreamWorks did not include any actual robots in them. They were just vehicles and humans. And while it was still exciting, the fans wanted more. Of course, myself included, but I was still very, very excited for what they showed. Okay, finally, okay, the final trailer arrived with the Linkin Park song, okay? That freaking blew my freaking mind, okay? Because like I said before, nobody knew what to expect, and we were finally given clear images of the robots, and that's what people were waiting for. And I remember that day very clearly. I didn't have a Mac back then. I didn't have an iMac. I was watching, I was using a laptop, and a PC, right? An IBM laptop. And I was watching it. I knew it was coming out that day. I woke up early in the morning, turned on my computer, and just waiting. I was actually counting down for like, I don't know, like 90 minutes, okay, or an hour, waiting for it to happen, just refreshing, going on the Transformers boards, and just waiting for it to arrive. And then finally arrived. I watched it right in the morning, and then when Optimus Prime appeared, and then when they put out the transforming sound effect, the original G1 transforming sound effect, which actually didn't make its way to the movie, I literally screamed, "Holy shit!" And then, of course, you know, it being in the morning, my parents heard me. And then they were like, "What's going on?" And I was like, nothing, right? So, and I had watched it over and over and over again. It just blew my mind. I had to actually told my dad about it. I said, like, "Dad, you got to come down and watch this, okay?" And, like, he didn't really care for it, but, like, he acknowledged that it looked pretty cool, okay? But still, it was, like, what an amazing trailer. Okay, that ended up being the most downloaded trailer, like, in all of the internet, okay? Because the only movies to hold those titles were the Star Wars prequels, okay? Because that was the only other big franchise, okay? So what was really awesome about the trailer was that every shot with the robots and every shot with an actual transformation was so incredible. Like, truly, truly incredible. And what Michael Bay said, he was going for realism. He ended up delivering, so that was amazing. Everybody on a lot of fans on the boards were in awe. Still, some people were very critical about it, criticizing it, but at the end of the day, they were all very, very excited because, like I said, they didn't know what to expect, and then Michael Bay delivered something completely unexpected. It was positively unexpected, so that was amazing. Now, there was two very specific criticisms that I do remember, okay? In the trailer, Megan Fox has a scene where she goes, "You drive, I shoot," okay? A lot of the fans criticized that. They said that, okay, you know what, I'm already, like, cringing at this bad acting, this bad dialogue delivery, and they likened it to Padme Amidala's, Natalie Portman's poor acting in or script delivery, dialogue delivery in Attack of the Clones as Padme Amidala. Okay, I remember those words, the feedback on the forum so clearly about how Megan Fox says, "You drive, I shoot." It was such a big deal. And the other thing they said was that they criticized Tyrese Gibson for saying, "Bring it!" Like, they said, "What? Bring it!" Right? The Scorponok attack, right? And they were saying that, okay, is Tyrese going to be the typical token black guy in every Hollywood film where they say things like, "Bring it"? You know, I didn't care for any of these things, right? But it was just so funny to read all these criticisms about, like, the humans, okay? Human dialogue. So that was just really silly. Anyways, I couldn't wait for this film. I was talking to a lot of friends about it, talking to people about it, saying like, "Hey, did you see the trailer? Did you know that there's a Transformers movie coming out?" And blah, blah, blah. And then, finally, Transformers was released on July 4th. Actually, July 3rd for Michael Bay made the decision and said, like, "You know what? Let's give it to them early. Let's give it not on July 4th, but July 3rd, okay?" And that was all really awesome. Because actually on the July 1st long weekend, July 1st for Canada was Canada Day. And for the long weekend, my family and my extended family, we went on a trip to the Okanagan. It's the interior part of the province where it's like just really, really like it's really hot, for like the summer. The summers there are really, really hot. You do a lot of outdoor activities like picnics and water sports and things like that. So we spent like 2 nights in the Okanagan, but then on the way back was July 3rd, and so the road trip back to Vancouver, back home, I was highly anticipating the film because I had already bought my ticket, and then basically the moment I got home, I would end up meeting my friends in the theater, and then we'd line up for Transformers, right? That was the plan for the day. And the thing is that back then there wasn't reserved seating. You couldn't buy your tickets in advance and pick your seats. You can only buy your tickets in advance, but then you still have to line up for like 2 hours. I lined up for 2 hours. I was in the lineup for 2 hours for this film. All right, and that was just how it is. And I had no problem with it because I really wanted a good seat, right? I wasn't first in line, I was somewhere in the middle, but still, it shows you how hardcore the fans were. Now, the thing about that, the trip to the Okanagan, was that I wanted to hype myself up for Transformers, so what I did was I brought my DVD player, my portable DVD player along, as well as like the G1 episodes, and then on DVD. So I was watching them on my road trip to the Okanagan and watching them, continue watching them back. So it was just to get myself hyped up for the film. And then the lights went down in the theaters. People were clapping. And then what did we see? We saw the teaser trailer for Cloverfield. J.J. Abrams produced Cloverfield. The handheld camera. What do you call it? The first person movie. Found footage movie of that of the kaiju, right? And once that teaser came out, and then the Statue of Liberty head on the ground in New York, everybody was talking. I don't remember the last time I watched a movie where after the teaser trailer was done, people were talking. There was just so much chatter about like, what the hell did we just watch? That's very interesting, right? Anyways, so the teaser trailer for Cloverfield was done, and then the movie started. And then I'll just leave it off with that, all right? I'm going to watch the movie now. I'm going to film my feedback afterwards, and then I'll share with you my thoughts about how I really feel about it. But anyways, thank you for joining this journey. This was actually a pretty long video, but there was a lot to cover. I essentially summarized the entire journey from beginning all the way to the release of Transformers, and we're talking about a span of I don't know, like 5 years. 5 years of anticipation. And so there you have it. So like I said, I never did a Journey to TF1 video series, so you basically just saw it, like a shortened version of it. So there you have it. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this was exciting for you guys. I hope that you guys were able to relive these moments through me and through my my delivery of these events. Even talking about it just gives me goosebumps, and I actually can't wait to watch my Blu-ray upstairs on my 4K TV. So I'm gonna do that. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned for the next episode, because in part 2 of this, we're gonna talk about my thoughts about this film, alright? And I'm gonna talk about it with regards to my thoughts about it coming out of the theater, and also how I feel about it now, okay? So you're not gonna want to miss that. Stay tuned. As always, if you enjoyed this video, you want to see more, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to YouTube channel, like me on Facebook, The Ragin Nation, also follow me on Twitter, Ragin Nation. My name is Alex, thanks for watching. See you next time. Peace.